Hello, this is Anjali from B Honors Political Science, second year. The topic for my presentation is legislative representative powers and functions. I will also focus on the powers and functions of MPs and MLAs. First of all, I would start from the topic Parliament. The Parliament is the legislative organ of the Union government. It occupies a preeminent and central position in the Indian democratic political system due to adoption of the parliamentary form of government. Article 79 to 122 in part 5th of the Constitution deal with the organization, composition, procedures, duration, privileges, powers and so on of the parliament. Now I'll discuss about the composition of parliament. The Parliament of India consists of three parts, that is the President, the Council of States. It is popularly known as Rajya Sabha and it is the upper house of the parliament. The third is the House of the People. It is popularly known as Lok Sabha and it is the lower house of the parliament. Now I will discuss about the composition of Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha has 245 members. Of these, 229 members represent the states, 4 members represent the union territory and 12 members are nominated by the president. It is a permanent body and is not subject to dissolution. Composition of Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha has 545 members. Of these, 530 members represent the states, one-third member represent the union territory and two Anglo-Indian members are nominated by the president. It is not a continuing body and its normal term is 5 years. However, it can be dissolved at any time before the completion of its term. Now I'll discuss about the functions of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. The main function of both the houses is to pass the laws. Every bill has to be passed by both the houses and assented by the president before it becomes a law. Beside passing laws, it also acts as a means of resolution, motions for adjournment and discussions. Now we will see the qualifications of members of parliament. Article 84 of the Constitution states the qualifications of a member of parliament. He must be a citizen of India and he has completed 30 years of age in case of Rajya Sabha and 25 years in case of Lok Sabha. He must possess other qualifications as prescribed by Parliament. The last is he must registered as an elector for a parliamentary constituency. Besides qualification, the Article 102 of the Constitution states the disqualifications of a member of Parliament. He should not hold any office of profit under the union or state government. He should not of unsound mind and if stands so declared by a court. He should not be an undischarged insolvent. He is disqualified under any law made by Parliament. The Parliament has let down the additional disqualifications also. He must not have been found guilty of certain election offences or corrupt practices in the elections. He must not have been convicted for any offence resulting in imprisonment for 2 or more years. And the last is he must not have been dismissed from government services for corruption or disloyalty to the state. Now, the oath or affirmation taken by the MPs before holding their offices. Every member of either House of Parliament before taking his seat in the House has to make and subscribe to an oath or affirmation before the President or some person appointed by him for this purpose. Now, the salaries and allowances of MPs. MPs are entitled to receive such salaries and allowances as may be determined by Parliament. Now I will discuss about the powers and functions of the members of parliament. The first is legislative role. The primary role of an MP is to act as a legislator. It involves making laws for the governance of our country. The second is deliberative role. An MP participates in the discussion of a bill and suggests amendment to a government bill. The third is accountability. The Constitution of India has some provisions to make the members of parliament accountable to their constituents. The fourth is supervisory role. The MPs exercise control over the executive through parliamentary interventions such as question hour, zero hour, adjournment motion, no confidence motion, censure motion, and other discussions. MPs also supervise the executive by participating in committees like Public Account Committee, Estimate Committee, Public Undertaking Committee, and various other departments. The fifth is electoral role. A MP participates in the election of the president and the vice president. The last is representative responsibility. Every MP represents his or her constituency and has to raise issues of his or her constituency in parliament through questions, debates, and so on. He or she mainly represents the interest of people. MP is also primarily responsible for approving government expenditure. After discussing about the parliament, now I shall move to the topic state legislature. State legislature. The state legislature is the legislative organ of the state government. It occupies a preeminent and central position in the political system of a state. Article 168 to 212 in part 6 of the Constitution deals with the organization, composition, duration, procedures, privileges, powers, and so on of the state legislature. Now I'll discuss about the composition of the state legislature. The state legislature consists of the three parts, that is the governor, the legislative council, it is popularly known as Vidhan Parishad, and it is the upper house of the state legislature. The third is legislative assembly, it is popularly known as Vidhan Sabha, and it is the lower house of the state legislature. Legislative Council. The maximum strength of the council is fixed at 1/3 of the total strength of the assembly, and the minimum strength is fixed at 40. The members of the legislative council are indirectly elected. Legislative Assembly. The maximum strength of the assembly is fixed at 500 and minimum strength at 60. The Legislative Assembly consists of representatives directly elected by the people on the basis of universal adult franchise. Like the Lok Sabha, the Legislative Assembly is not a continuing chamber. Its normal term is 5 years. However, the governor is authorized to dissolve the assembly at any time even before the completion of its term. Whereas, like Rajya Sabha, the Legislative Council is a continuing chamber, that is, it is a permanent body and is not subjected to dissolution. Now we will see the functions of Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly. The main functions of both the houses include enacting laws, approving public expenditure, and taxation. It also monitors the work of the government. After discussing about the functions of Legislative Council and Legislative Assembly, now I shall move to the topic members of state legislature. The qualifications of the members of state legislature are listed here. The constitution lays down the following qualifications. He must be a citizen of India and he has completed 30 years of age in case of Legislative Council and 25 years in case of Legislative Assembly. He must possess other qualifications as prescribed by the Parliament. Besides the qualification, the Constitution also lays down the certain disqualifications. He should not hold any office of profit under the union or state government. He should not of unsound mind, and he should not be an undischarged insolvent. He is disqualified under any law made by Parliament. The Parliament has laid down the additional disqualifications also. He must not have been found guilty of certain election offences or corrupt practices in the elections. He must not have been convicted for any offence resulting in imprisonment for 2 or more years. He must not have been dismissed from government services for corruption or disloyalty to the state, and many more are there. Oath or affirmation taken by the members of state legislature before holding their offices. Every member of either house of state legislature before taking his seat in the house has to make and subscribe to an oath or affirmation before the governor or some person appointed by him for this purpose. At last, we will see the powers and functions of the members of Legislative Assembly. The first is legislative power. The primary function of a MLA is lawmaking. An MLA can exercise his or her legislative powers in the state list and the concurrent list. The second is financial power. The Legislative Assembly holds absolute financial powers in the state. A money bill can originate in the Legislative Assembly only, and the MLA must give consent for any of the expenses made by the state treasury. Executive power. The MLA in each state exercise certain executive powers. They control the activities and action taken by the Chief Minister and the Council of Ministers. In other words, the ruling government is answerable to the Legislative Assembly for all of its decisions. The next is electoral powers. The MLA have certain electoral powers, such as MLAs elect the members of the Rajya Sabha who represent a particular state. The Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly are elected by the MLAs. The last is constituent and miscellaneous powers. Some parts of the Constitution of India that relate to federal provisions can be amended by ratification by one half of the members of the Legislative Assembly. MLAs review reports of the Public Service Commission and the Accountant General. MLAs appoint the various committees to the House. So this is all about legislative representative. Now thank you and have a nice day.